up, everybody? Wait till some people get on and talk about that most excellent game. I only watched the highlights. I didn't watch the full game. But the highlights were definitely lived up to its billing. Let me say this. I'm going to repeat what I heard an announcer say. He said that no team has ever scored 50 points and lost. That's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't it kind of ridiculous? I scored 50 points and I lost. Isn't that ridiculous? It's like guys in track going, I ran a 9.98 and I came in last. That actually did happen. Wait a minute, I ran a 9.98 and came in last. How's that go? You know what I'm saying? It's because everybody else was running a 9, 5 and a 9.6. It's ridiculous. It's getting better and better and better. Athletes are getting better and better. How about that Patrick Mahomes? Okay. So here's one thing I noticed though. Whenever you have a high scoring game on both ends, it's obvious that there are some holes in the defense, turnovers. The Chiefs, what up? What up? The Chiefs lost because of turnovers. I think Mahomes had maybe 2 interceptions, and one of them was for a pick six. I think 2 of them, one fumble was for a fumble 6. Another one was for a pick 6. Then at the very end of the game, he threw an interception when he tried to Hail Mary it. But he had Tyreek Hill. I think that's Tyreek Hill, isn't that? Yeah, there's a lot of penalties. There's a lot of penalties. And I think it's number 10? Number 10 from the Chiefs? But what I'm trying to say is you got what you paid for in that game. You really, really did. It was a lot of penalties, but we start talking about penalties recently and how the game has changed. How you're not going to see the quarterback being driven into the ground like, back in the, Bart Starr, Joe Namath days. You can even go back to, Fran Tarkington, and you can even bring it up a little further and start looking at, just to go, not even that much, where the players were being, the football players would drive the quarterback into the game. You look at last year, what happened to Aaron Rodgers. Who was they playing against? The Rams. And he got his shoulder dislocated, and that put him out for the rest of the season because of that. So they're really, 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 really trying to stop that. Recently, Roethlisberger had that happen to him, and it was automatically called a personal foul. So and the thing about that is now you're looking at quarterbacks, especially scrambling quarterbacks, how could you have too many concussions? Well, too many injuries, period. But now you're looking, because they're getting sued, it's costing them money. But now you got quarterbacks who can exploit that. You try to arm tackle Cam Newton, see what happens. He's going to call in Kaepernick all over you. And that's just that. You got some dynamite scrambling quarterbacks, and have mercy. Just thank your lucky stars Michael Vick isn't playing anymore, like a young Michael Vick. Be grateful of that. Michael Vick isn't playing anymore. Yeah, Alex Smith, broken leg. Yeah, he's done for the season. He broke his ankle, is what he did. Went back in and he broke his ankle. Big ups to Alex Smith. I like the Alex Smith because he was always a playoff quarterback, but he's not a Super Bowl quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But that Jared Goff, look, Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes are almost the Well, I'm not even going to say that because Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball further than Jared Goff. Um, I think Patrick Mahomes is stronger. I'll have to look at the stats on that, but nonetheless, Jared Goff is like a young Alex Smith to me. But nonetheless, he's surrounded by a great team now. When you look at the Rams, you got to look. Cooper Kupp wasn't even playing. You know what I'm saying? Cooper Kupp wasn't even playing. And you didn't see a lot of yardage coming out of the person they just paid $58 million to, which is Todd Gurley. You didn't see a lot coming out of him. There, to the third quarter, he catches a pass and goes up the field. It's just, because he's banged up. A lot of downhill running will bang you up real quick. It just is what it is. That's the name of the game, actually. This is why you don't see many people doing what Frank Gore is doing right now. Frank Gore plays for Miami. Frank Gore is also 35 years old. Remember, Frank Gore used to play with San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? So you don't see a lot of that now. 35-year-old running backs, who still as lethal as Frank Gore is, you just don't see that. They take a running back and they, Le'Veon Bell him. They use him up for – yeah. Yeah, because he's banged up, They Le'Veon Bell you. They use you up for 5 years and then and we're not going to renew your contract. We're going to get somebody younger. Then number 10 comes in, and all of a sudden he's, getting the ball. You're just like, wait a minute, I'm still good. But then you end up going to a franchise like Miami, and I don't want to say a second-rate franchise, but let's just face it. Miami at one time, I think they're the only team that's ever went undefeated, even though when they did it, it was the game was different. I don't think there was so many games being played in that season, but nonetheless, they did do it. But nonetheless, Miami hasn't been right since, I don't know, Dan Marino, but he never got a ring. But Dan Marino was that guy, came out of Pitt. You know what I'm saying? Pittsburgh, my city. But, I'm glad that they gave Al Gore a shake. But the game was just phenomenal. Even the highlights, you're sitting on the edge of your seat, like it's so back and forth. Now, it's what, week 11 and going to week 12? These two teams might face each other in the playoffs. And automatically people are going to say, I'm going to give it to the Rams, but I'm not. Even though I couldn't see Kansas City winning a Super Bowl, I can see that if Kansas City plays them again, it's going to be a closer game and the score is not going to be as high. I just think that each team got exposed in this game. They both have high-powered offenses, and but the defenses is what got it. So even though there were some great defensive plays, it was almost like this score was going to be high no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It's almost looking at it like that. But now you got to look at how to stop that secondary. How to get that secondary to stop Jared Goff. That's what everybody's concentrating on now, because they're like 10-1. Everybody is looking at Jared Goff. Everybody's looking at Todd Gurley. He's already banged up. Now they're looking at all the receivers and going, how can we stop Jared Goff? Now, Pittsburgh had this problem some years ago. They had this problem when Ocho was playing. Chad Johnson. When Cincinnati Bengals were the threat. And the only team that could keep up with Cincinnati Bengals speed during that time was the Colts. But they had to come through Pittsburgh. And what did Pittsburgh do? They broke the quarterback's leg. It's not funny, but they were just like, we are going to get to this quarterback. And I'm sorry, I think it was Andy Dalton who still plays. And I'm sorry that he got his leg broke. Like I was like, okay, this is terrible. Nobody wants to see anybody get a broken leg. But they concentrated so much on the quarterback because they couldn't keep up with Chad Johnson's speed. And that was just that. They didn't have the best defense, but Cincinnati had a lightning fast receiver, and Andy Dalton he's no joke. If that pocket doesn't collapse, he's gonna get that ball downfield, and Ocho is just gonna outrun every defensive back that you had, and that's exactly what was happening. The only people that could keep up with them at that time was the Colts. So Pittsburgh did what they do. They got that steel curtain going on for that defense, and they blitzed the hell out of that quarterback. And I'm telling you right now, if you blitz, if you got a really, really, really dope blitzing game, you'll defeat the Rams. That's what I saw. Now you got to get to them fast. The fastest release as far as a quarterback in the NFL was Dan Marino. It was 1-2 bang. The ball was already out. Okay? The ball was already out. The most lethal quarterback was Joe Montana, because he was just doing all kind of crazy stuff. But nonetheless, Jared Goff is not a 1-2 release the ball. Jared Goff is a 3-step back, set, throw the ball. He can even scramble. You know what I'm saying? He got some wheels on him. You know what I'm saying? He's not like Tom Brady. Tom Brady ain't really got no wheels on him. Tom Brady would just throw to your grandmother if she can, get the ball. If she's a legal receiver, Tom Brady throws to everyone. But Jared Goff, the chink in Jared Goff's armor is the rush. That's it. He can scramble a little bit, but I'm telling you now, if you blitz that man, you'll win that game. Because Todd Gurley is banged up. Barely even played. Barely passed to him. They used him up. And that was their biggest thing. You blitz, we're going to send Todd Gurley to the outside. He has the leg speed. We're going to send him up the 2-hole. He has the strength to do it. We're going to send him to the 4. We're gonna do a hand and around or a reverse. And they used him up. We're gonna send him out like a slot back, and then line him up as a 2 back instead of a 1 back. And then they used up all their tricks, and now he's dinged up, and they need him now more than ever. Because if you can rush Jared Goff and be successful at it, you'll beat the Rams. Absolutely, you will beat them. But the game was dynamite, and I'm going to probably watch some more highlights of it. They had some more dynamite games. Pittsburgh and them almost lose until Roethlisberger, and his, what is he, 6'6"? He gets one in there, and they win. But they have some work to do, too, on their defensive end. Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna have to when Patrick Mahomes scrambles. What's going on? When Patrick Mahomes scrambles, see, here's a chink in KC's armor. When Patrick Mahomes scrambles, he's for one, he's looking away. So he's running the opposite direction. Somebody's coming from behind. And what they do, they went right after the ball and they stripped him twice. Alex Smith breaks his leg 33 years to the day after Joe Theismann. Oh, here we go. What up, Kev? Same yard line, same final score. Oh, I didn't know that. See, there it is. There it is. Yeah, man. But they got Patrick Mahomes real good. They knew how to slow him down. Really? Huh. Yeah, Joe Theismann. Broadway Joe. That was Joe Namath. Broadway Joe was Joe Namath. Yeah. Yeah, so they found a chink in Patrick Mahomes' armor, and they rushed him pretty good. They confused him a little bit in the backfield, wouldn't let him set. Okay, well, you say the Saints. I was saying it's gonna be the Pats and the Saints. Oh, thanks, man. Shoot, I'll be in that gym. I still got this, but I'll be in that gym, bro. Only reason why I didn't go today because my back has been killing me. I was doing some workouts here on the floor and some core workouts, and my back is not having it. Like, nah, we're not doing all that. So I got to start hitting the, I got to find a way to get my back from seizing up because it just hurts like heck. KD, Bron, and next year Lakers. Yeah. Shoot, I thought it was going to be a LA sweep this year. I thought it was going to be LA for baseball, LA basketball, and LA Rams. And the threat was real. The threat is still real, except for baseball. I thought they were going to win the pennant, take the title in basketball, and win the Super Bowl. And basketball and the Super Bowl could still be a thing. All the Alex Smith stuff was mainstream media, not even conspiracy. People talking about it. Really? Huh. I didn't even know all that about, the Alex Smith conspiracy stuff. I like the Smithster. He's an OG in the game. But like I said, Alex Smith is he's a playoff quarterback, but he's not somebody who's going to take you to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Not at all. But, yeah, man, I be hitting them weights, trying to keep up with the youngsters. The youngsters will outlift you in a minute. So, you got to do something about that. You're like, nah, youngin'. What? Get on that bench press. Golden State done. Look, the joke that is Golden State. It's the Kim Kardashian show. It's just why are you suspending Green? Because he did what? He didn't pass KD the ball, and this is news. It's like he gets suspended because KD wanted the ball and they have a flare up, and now you suspend him for this. I mean, it's the guiding light. It's General Hospital. It's freaking Dallas. It's just ridiculous. It's a soap opera. It's like, come on, man. And when I looked at the play, I was like, it's not like he J.R. Smithed him. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he J.R. Smith LeBron. He took the ball and headed the other direction when it was a crucial time in the game. That isn't what happened. That whole thing is just a bunch of phony baloney to me. KD is more important. But might go to the Lakers. They said Green found out and was mad. Green openly said, if do what you're going to do, that's your choice. And he said, we were better without you. I think that's why they suspended him. Or he didn't say we're better without, he said we were already champions without you, which is true. It's not like he didn't say something that was wrong. This is the reason people are so upset with the NBA, because it's just Green. He just said it. We were already champions. Now we got Boogie Cousins. Now we got KD. We didn't need KD. We don't need you. Oh, well, I guess you can't have that. I ain't know that. Yeah, that's not cool. But I'm saying he made a valid point. Like, we were already here. The chances of them winning a championship against Cleveland without KD was still great. They swept. Cleveland didn't win one game. LeBron quit. LeBron quit after game one. There was nothing there. They never did need KD. They never needed him. Go back to Oklahoma if you're so phenomenal. Go back there if you're so phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? You joined the best team in the doggone. You joined one of the best teams in history. They're the best backcourt shooting team ever. They hit more threes than anyone ever. And now you give him them? Listen, you could have gave them, somebody's grandmother, and she could have got out there and started shooting threes, and they would have still beat Cleveland. It's just ridiculous. Word is he wanted to leave after they traded Kyrie. So he knew a year ago he was different. Look, I talked about that last year. I talked about how KD isn't going to stick around because of the ratings. This is all hodgepodge rating stuff. That's what this is. There's no to suspend Draymond for calling him a bad word. Michael Jordan calling Allen Iverson out his name. Michael Jordan used to start stuff with people all the time. Larry Bird used to start stuff with people. I mean, hell, look at Meta World Peace. Okay, look, back then you had to strangle somebody. Back then you had to strangle somebody. Like that one dude strangled his coach. I mean, come on. That's all it is. This is hodgepodge drama Valley Girl bull crap. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, as long as they still got that original five, as long as they still got Iguodala, the best six man there is, okay? They still got Iguodala. They still got Green. You guys know the starting five. They got the best bench in the league. And that just got elevated. Boogie Cousins, his legs is going to get better. He's young. That just got better. Like, there's no chink in their armor. The only way they could lose is if they beat themselves. Coming back from 1-3 with everything against. Right. Well, see, that's just the thing about it. It's not how long will it last. It's how long will they let it last? Because it can last. Listen, none of those guys are Ginobili. We're not talking about 40-year-old Parker. You know what I'm saying? That's what's wrong with the Spurs. They're old. You had a guy retire last year. You know what I'm saying? You're old. You have one guy retire and the other guy didn't play the whole year. You're old. Tony Parker's old. Ginobili, he's old. You know, you got one guy that's just disappeared literally on you guys. You know, you're not talking about that. You're talking about all these guys who are young. Young guys. No, that dynasty could last for the next, if they wanted to, they could clean everybody's clock for the next 5 years. But you know what'll happen? They could clean everybody's clock probably for the next 7 years. There's nobody who can stand against them. No one. You can get Braun together with Paul George. You can get Kyrie. Okay, okay. Just make a dream team: LeBron James, Paul George, Kyrie Irving. What? Maybe Zion Williams, and throw in. Who else would you throw in there? Who you got? Don't say Kevin Love. We're not doing that. We're definitely not going J.R. Smith. Just throw in one other. Go and get the what's the name? James from the Houston Rockets. Kawhi. There you go. If he wants to play, if he's happy, a happy Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? A happy Kawhi Leonard. And then you can back that up with a half decent bench. You might have a chance to get those guys. But when they start shooting those threes, when Kevin Durant gets 34 points on you, when Clay shoots, when Clay gets 25 points on you, you know what I'm saying? Iguodala picks up 12. You know what I'm saying? Green's got, 10 to 15 points on you. It just goes up. And then, their Magic Man, who to me is, better than Kevin. Well, I say he's more exciting than Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? When you got Curry, who just is an exciting player to watch, who can shoot from the top of the key and bank them out. Didn't he just have a record he broke again? I mean, that dude is ridiculous. He's shooting it from the other side pretty much blind, and it's just going in. Like, he's ridiculous. Like, it's just hard to stop that type of talent. Yeah, peace to you, Iz. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the fam. Well, we talked about that. We talked about the rim. Well, yeah, they look unnatural. Because when has anybody been doing that? Golden State figured out the secret sauce. It's not in the slam dunks. Slam dunks is only 2 points. Nobody cares. I mean, people get excited about it, but it doesn't make the score go up, higher than it does if you start knocking down threes in somebody's face. When you start Allen Iverson, people, just looks ridiculous. Come down, bust. This is how Syracuse beat the Pacific State of Florida when they were a couple years ago when they ran Georgetown off the court, made them look stupid. They ran into Syracuse. They was doing all that dunking and showboating, and when they ran into the Orange Men, it was over. The Orange Man was just like, yeah, that's 2 points, but we're going to start hitting outside the key. And they just ran the score up on them. And all that energy was for naught. It just is. It's just 2 points. Slam all you want. You know what I'm saying? So, Golden State, they just got the golden touch. That's it and that's all. As far as rim technology, I believe it is. I believe it is. We talked about that last year. Look, I believe the NBA is fixed. I mean, it's obvious that it's fixed. It's obvious that it's fixed. Why it's fixed, I don't know. Span of control, Why can't Phoenix get a championship? Charles Barkley, it's Barkley. How many rings did he have? Yeah, yeah. You're just like, wait, how'd that happen? Like, what's going on? Charles Barkley. Yeah. Why can't Phoenix get some championships? No. Arizona? No. How about Dirk Nowitzki? Dirk! Not doing that. Dirk can't get any more. Dirk. Team sucks. Worst team in the league now. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, the worst team in the league was who? 76ers. Look at them now. They're like the 5th best in the league. Championship team. Well, not going to say championship team, but they got potential. As long as Embiid stays healthy. Oh, wow. I don't watch the games. Yeah, Simmons, Embiid, they stay healthy. They'll stay in the playoffs. They're better than the Pacers. You know what I'm saying? If Kyrie Irving doesn't come back or he doesn't get his health together, heck, they're better than the Celtics. Who they got? Terry Rozier? Terry Rozier! It's Terry Rozier! He's phenomenal! Get out of here. We used to talk about Terry Rozier before. He's phenomenal. Even with Kyrie Irving, they wasn't going to win the championship. Just wasn't going to happen. You can't stop the backcourt shooting. You can't even stop it. And nobody else can shoot like they can. You have to foul those guys out. But we got some matchups in football for week 12. I'm going to do a whole different video on that, on my predictions for week 12. Well, not predictions, but who I think should win. I'm careful now when I say predictions. Yeah. Jared Goff, I still think he's going to crash and burn in the playoffs. I just do. I do. I think he's going to crash and burn in the playoffs. Is the regular season of basketball, has it started yet? Because I know that I've been watching the news feeds, and you got people having these NFC is tough call. I think Patriots will win. I do too. I got I'm thinking Patriots. Steelers are what? 7-2-1. Seven, 2-1. You know, we usually see Steelers and the Pats in the championship. If Steelers play like they did the other day, you can't make that mistake when you're going up against KC. You're not going Jags 3-6 and they almost beat you like that. They should have wiped them off the floor. They should have shut them down like they did, like they shut down the Ravens. They completely shut the Ravens down. Beat them, what, 20, 27? What was that, nothing? Shut them out. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was preseason. Because I know you're seeing a lot of reports of people who are making these, 40, 50 points a game, and it's news. It's not news to me when the superstar, it would be news to me if somebody you haven't heard of does this. Although I gotta admit, when the Timberwolves player, Mr. Glass, Derrick Rose, when he did it, scored 50, and he was crying, I was feeling for D Rose. I was feeling for him. He's been through a lot, you know. Was he's making 48 million at one time a year, something like that. Didn't want to come to work. Like, I don't want to come to work. It's just it got to him. Then he got sued, had allegations against him. You know what I'm saying? Now he's $2 million a year, and he's playing wonderful. He's not a target anymore. Nobody, look, D Rose scored 50 points is not the surprise. Because we know who he is. He's Mr. MVP. We know. You know what I'm saying? We know who he is. He's not old. So him scoring 50 points, that's not the surprise. You know what I'm saying? Him playing is the surprise. What, D Rose is playing? Oh my God. I know he's on your team, but he's still there. Let's see how far he gets into the season. Let's see how many games he plays. That's the surprise. Because he has a habit of getting a contract and then just not showing up. Gets hurt. That's why I call him Mr. Glass. But can he play? Can he score 50 points? Absolutely. The guy is crazy talented. Does he want to even hit the floor? Is he still at home, watching his team play, on his big screen, or is he actually on the court? That's the surprise. Kemba Walker dropped 60, then 43 in the next game. I don't know who that is, but that's ridiculous. That's a lot. That's a lot of points. But you know what they're doing? They're setting us up. They're setting us up for the woo. That's what they're doing. They're setting us up for it. They're like, we're telling you now there's going to be some crazy scoring games, and we're going to make a big deal out of it when it happens. Set you up for the woo. Anyways, it's good talking to you guys. I'm going to go ahead and bug out, eat the rest of my dinner, and go to bed. Talk to you later, man. Jesus loves you.